as it should be.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi. And the question that we're trying to ask and decode tonight is that India's democracy runs on bloodlines, not ballots. And in that situation, can merit ever win? Which is why tonight on the broadcast, we're zeroing in on a firestorm ignited by one of the sharpest political minds in India, Shashi Tharoor's blistering strike against dynastic politics, calling it out as the silent poison corroding our nation's heart. And striking out at Gandhi's and other dynasts, he said that the family first formula is not just an issue in the Congress party, but something that shackles India's promise across the entire political spectrum. He's shouting out loud, pinning the blame on a system where every outfit, national or neighborhood, bows to the pull of bloodlines over ballots. Shashi Tharoor is unequivocally brutal. Says as long as politics stays a cozy family enterprise, will never unlock the real spark of people-powered rule. Does he make a point? Well, we'll find out. And he argues that it's a point of no return, where democracy dilutes drop by drop under the weight of surnames. It turns elections into inheritance ceremonies, rather than idea and ideological battles. He has sparked a political face-off. Here are some of those reactions first.
A very insightful piece has been written by Dr. Shashi Tharoor on how Indian politics has become a family business. And he has started from the first family of Congress, which in fact legitimized this idea that political power and position can be a matter of birthright. This is a direct assault on the foremost and biggest nepo kid of India, Rahul Gandhi, and his compatriot in Bihar, Tejasvi Yadav. I wonder what repercussions will follow for speaking so much truth within the Congress party. Already Dr. Tharoor is facing the repercussions for calling out Nepo Kid Rahul on the entire Operation Sindoor surrender fake narrative. One wonders now what will happen to Mr. Tharoor. But this is why Congress hates PM Modi.
All the members of Nehru family are elected to Lok Sabha, not other houses. So only because of the people's mandate, they become leaders. So Nehru family is a family who tribute to the Indian politics and for the Indian development, and they give their life also. Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, they gave up their life to the nation.
शशि थरूर जी ने ठीक ही कहा होगा, उन्होंने अपना अनुभव से कहा होगा, देश की अच्छे पार्लियामेंटेरियन है, कांग्रेस पार्टी को और उनकी जो सहयोगी दल यहाँ जैसे राजद टाइप के लोगों को ये तो चुभेगा ही, क्योंकि उनकी राजनीति एक परिवार से ही सीमित है। ये सामंतवादी लोग एक परिवार के बाहर सोच ही नहीं सकते हैं। शशि थरूर जी के इस बयान को मैं स्वागत करता हूँ।
Not just that, let's also take a look at the cold hard facts staring us down. As per a comprehensive analysis by the Association for Democratic Reforms, ADR, and National Election Watch, released in September 2025, 1 in every 5 lawmakers across India is a political heir. That's a whopping 1107 out of 5204 elected voices, or 21%, riding in on family coattails instead of solo hustle. National spotlights breed these dynasties like wildfire, whilst regional pride fans the flames. And this keeps family rule alive in state after state. Even ideological parties, the ones built on big ideas, aren't immune. They resist, but still get tangled in the same web. Then what about governance? It's living in the shadows of those very surnames, where decisions feel more like legacy plays than bold steps forward. Drill deeper into the national picture and it gets starker. In the Lok Sabha, 31% of members are dynasts, turning our lower house into a hall of heirs. The Rajya Sabha, clocks 21%. A slightly cooler but still crowded club. State legislative councils hit 22%, and assemblies nationwide average 20%, meaning wherever you vote, a family shadow looms large. When you zoom into the power states, Andhra Pradesh leads the pack at 34%, where family networks run deeper than roots. Maharashtra follows close next at 32%, strongholds of intertwined legacies. Karnataka is at 22%, fueled by regional party histories. Uttar Pradesh has 23% dynasts, but packs the biggest punch with 141 dynasts, making it a dynasty dynamo. Bihar's at 21% with mighty concentrations of family power. Now, parties aren't equally big culprits. The NCP tops the chart at 42% dynastic pull, the highest of all, where family feels like the only ticket in the town. Jammu and Kashmir's NC matches it at 42%, its core woven from one family's legacy. YSRCP in Andhra Pradesh surges at 38%, a state-level dynasty machine. The Telugu Desam party holds strong at 36% themselves, with inheritance as its own secret sauce. The Congress, the national heavyweight, sits at 32%, the biggest at the national level, and BJP fares better at 18%, is lower, but despite its stand against dynasts, it is not untouched. So, how does this beast keep reproducing itself, election after election, without a hitch? It boils down to a rigged game from inside out. Parties skip real internal democracy, letting bosses handpick heirs like it's a private club. There's zero criteria for who climbs the ladder, no tests for talent or grit, and legally, they're ghosts outside the RTI spotlight. Add the systemic perks like piles of money, ironclad networks, you've got a winning formula that crushes newcomers before they even start. And what about the voters? Well, they grumble with dissatisfaction and drift into apathy. Too tired or tricked to demand better, letting the vicious cycle spin on. The consequences of this dynastic grip are a slow bleed on the soul of our republic. Meritocracy is swapped for straight nepotism, where connections count more than competence. It shrinks the talent pool to a puddle and weakens governance at every turn. These heirs often float insulated from street-level struggles. Accountability evaporates too, as poor performers cling on thanks to lineage, not results. This breeds a politics of excuses over excellence, where the country's ills fester unchecked because fresh fixes never really get a fair shot. Is India reaching a point of no return on dynastic politics, or can this trend still be reversed? That's one of the biggest questions that we're trying to ask and decode. Is dynasty now democracy's default mode? And can any party, Congress or the BJP, truly claim to be free of it? And are voters powerless, or do they themselves nurture dynasty politics with their own choices? An esteemed set of panelists that's joining us here on the broadcast, Major General Anil Verma, head the Association for Democratic Reforms. Many thanks for taking out the time, General. Pankaj Vora, senior journalist. Many thanks for speaking to us, Mr. Vora, at this point in time. Rohan Gupta, spokesperson for the BJP, with us on the broadcast. And Chandrasekhar Jha, spokesperson for the Shiv Sena UBT. You know what, General Verma? Let me quickly come to you first, because we really need to understand, from Nehru till now, have we turned our democracy into a family business? And then at that point, General Verma, the ADR report lays it quite bare. 1 in every 5 lawmakers in India is a dynast. And from your own data and your own lens, how deep is this problem? Can one call it a rot at this point in time? Are we looking at a structural capture of our democracy, or is this just cultural acceptance that this is how it's going to go on?
Thank you for having me on the panel. You covered all the details from our report, and incidentally, I just wanted to mention, for the benefit of your viewers, that this is the first time that we have taken out this report, because I felt that this is a very important feature of our politics, which is not being discussed in detail. And whenever there are elections, you hear one party criticizing the other, but as you see from the report, it is very evident that each and every party is touched to some extent. Even the left-leaning and the so-called social parties, they also have dynasty, though it is very much less compared to the national and the regional and the state parties. Undoubtedly, the points which Mr. Shashi Tharoor has raised in the article, they merit consideration. we should not take it as one particular party against the other, like the political commentators you interviewed, they showed. It is a systematic thing which has happened, and it is, I would say, a rot which is there in our system. Everywhere, any job, anything, there is a criteria for selection. Politics is one place, and I would say real estate agent is another, where you don't need any qualifications in our country. Anybody can become a property dealer, and anybody can become a political
a political dealer, a property dealer and a political dealer. General Verma, because you see, Shashi Tharoor described dynastic politics as structural, not incidental. Now, can you help the viewers understand this just a little bit better? What is it really? General Verma, is it the institutional failures that make political inheritance so easy and political merit so difficult to accept?
I'd like to tell you that in 2010, ADR had requested retired Chief Justice Venkatachalaya, and he drafted a 10-page, this thing for a bill for regulation of political parties.
Okay.
And nothing happened to it as expected, because nobody wants to be regulated. And political parties are the only institutions in our country which are not regulated. There are millions of laws for you and me, whether it is income tax or other things, but they are not regulated. And we went to the CIC, and the CIC full bench gave a decision that the political parties should come under the RTI. They did not comply to that order, and the case is pending in the Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court hasn't found time to listen to it. So the issue is that unless there is some system of selection of candidates for internal, like we always maintain, unless and until there is internal party democracy, you cannot have good people coming into politics, and the governance suffers as a result of
that. Absolutely. And General, I think we've all sort of, we're okay with swallowing that poison pill, because every time an article comes with a headline that says, know your neta, or, a website blog that comes with the headline, know your neta, how many positive attributes about a neta are listed? It's always how much the neta is earning, how much is their net value, and I mean, along the same negative lines. I mean, there's no positive aspect at that. Before I move on to my other guests, and many thanks for patiently waiting, General, one more question. Is this simply about families with resources and networks? They have their donors and those lists. The ironclad machinery is already at play. There is some sort of voter credibility also. So before the other fresh starter has even begun, the political air is already taken 10 steps ahead. So is this simply about families with resources and networks, or is the system itself rigged along with voter apathy, lack of transparency, and all of those issues?
Is all of that combined, I would say. And the main thing is that whoever, like he has written in the article also, there is one person who is heading the whole thing. And he's the guy who's controlling the purse strings. Simple as that. And money makes the mayor go. In our politics especially. Money and muscle part. Both
all right. That's the operative part. Let me not reiterate that particular portion. Let me quickly pass the buck around. Pankaj Vora, senior journalist, also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Vora, let me come to you next. You've tracked Indian politics right up to Modi 3.0. Is Shashi Tharoor saying something new, or is he merely voicing something that everybody knows? And of course, the few in the Congress party want to outrightly come out and dare admit. So is there something new that Shashi Tharoor has put out? Or is it something that everybody knows? We just don't want to speak about it.
No, everyone knows whatever Shashi Tharoor has written, and Shashi Tharoor has put it very well in his article, and he has made his points very effectively. But one has to understand. I agree with some of the points raised by General Verma. But the thing is that overall, if you look at it, India is a very, or rather, the entire subcontinent where we live. Whether it is Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, these places also have, witnessed dynasts coming one after the other, and certain families dominating the political, narrative. Now, so far as we are concerned, political parties and these people who are described as dynasts, if they are, coming to parliament, they are being elected by people of India. And they have to face the people, every 5 years. It is not a kind of a permanent job, which, in many other areas, a doctor's son becomes a doctor, a IAS officer's son becomes a bureaucrat, and so on and so forth. A businessman's son becomes a businessman. It is, something which is, endorsed by the people. If the people want a dynasty...
Why is that so? Why is that so, Mr. Vora? Because every generation blames dynasties, yet every decade produces new dynastic heirs as well. From the Gandhis to the Yadavs, Abdullahs, the Pawars, every regional offshoot you see. Why does India keep rewarding the surname over the merit?
It is not India rewarding them. It is the people, who elect these people. The thing is, meritocracy is a very good argument, but where is meritocracy? When you go to university to seek admission, there are reservations. There are very few seats which are available for the general quota. There's politics out there, and a lot of seats are taken away. When you apply for a job in the public sector, there are most of the seats are or positions are taken away. So if merit was to be the criteria, then merit has to be extended to all spheres. It can't be extended only to one area.
Yeah.
And how are we concluding that people who have
no, that's a credible point, Mr. Vora. You've raised a pertinent point. I mean, if it has to happen, it has to happen across the board. But how much of this can really be put on the voter? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of this is on the voter? Do Indian voters, Mr. Vora, subconsciously prefer the comfort of a known family name rather than test a new name in the political battleground?
Many times there have been, giant killers who have, humbled, established leaders. It has happened in many elections.
Yep.
Even, top leaders of today, top leaders of yesteryears were all humbled by newcomers. But yes, there is, if people prefer a certain kind of a surname, you cannot help it. Now, for instance, so far as the Gandhis are concerned, Amethi and Raebareli are considered to be the bastions. So, last time when people voted for in 2019 for Smriti Irani, who defeated Rahul Gandhi from Amethi, a lot of people, in Amethi had this feeling that their importance all over the country had been lost because they were no longer recognized as people who belonged to Rahul Gandhi's constituency or the Gandhi's constituency. So they came back and, voted for the Congress this time, defeating Smriti Irani. So it is, a kind of a choice which people, make on their own. We cannot do anything about it. If political parties put up a candidate and people of a particular constituency accept those people, what can I and you do? It seems
like dynasties are the price that we pay for an emotionally driven, a very personality-centric democracy that we live in. And there's no two ways about it. It's what we have. It's the cards that we've been dealt. Mr. Vora and General Verma, do stay on with us. We've got two spokespersons. I did want the Congress spokesperson to come on here as well, since Shashi Tharoor had, penned that very quote-unquote insightful, as the BJP spokesperson put it, Shehzad Poonewala, as a very insightful piece out there. Would love to hear what the Congress party thinks about that. But we've got Rohan Gupta representing the BJP here. Rohan, BJP often calls itself a party of opportunity, not a party of inheritance. That's happened time and again. But take a look at this ADR report as well. Even your benches aren't really immune. 18% of BJP lawmakers are dynasts. How do you defend that gap between principle and practice? We know Congress party stands at 32%. We know what TDP is doing. We know what, Chandrasekhar Rao's party is up to. We know that even Mayawati and Mamata Banerjee, who don't come from direct heirloom linkage and lineage, they have also passed on the baton to their own nephews. So, there's a pattern at play over here. And the BJP benches don't seem to be immune. 18%.
See, first of all, the way Mr. Shashi Tharoor has written truth, it requires courage, being inside the Congress party and writing the truth. Because today it's Bihar election, we are in
but we've seen that courage so many times. I'm sorry to interject. I'm just putting it out there that it's not new. His courage is also not new. Take a look at Manickam Tagore and Shashi Tharoor going at each other, birds of sway, freedom up in the air and all of that. Yeah.
Sure. So you must appreciate that even after showing the courage, you are surviving in Congress party. See, there is a basic difference in concept of dynast. The basic concept of dynast says that you are a part of particular family and you are handed over the power without proving your mettle. For example, Tejaswi Yadav. You tell me what Tejaswi Yadav has done to become the president of RJD. You have to prove your mettle. Unless and until you prove mettle, or for that matter, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He has lost elections after elections. So unless and until you prove your mettle and then people choose you, obviously it is whether dynast or it doesn't make a difference. Obviously, the second generation of any politician, he also has right to be in politics like doctor, engineer, whatever.
So
But
if you
he will
prove
have to
your
his
mettle, if you prove your mettle, it's okay to be a dynast.
Absolutely, it is your choice. It is your profession. It is your
And then
passion about the politics.
Who's
The proof is
deciding
again
whether
to
the mettle
point
has
to
been
the-
proved or not? Who's doing that? Who's deciding
that's
that
what
for
I'm
us?
saying. So if you see BJP 18%, that's what I'm saying. The basic difference between 36 and 18 of BJP is you will see the people who have proved that mettle on ground. Even if they are a part of second generation, it is not that they are handed over power because his father was minister or his father was MP. No, absolutely not. That person has worked on ground and then he has been given the whatever power he has in BJP. So this is the basic difference between the nepotism which you see in Congress party and when you say 18%, this is the basic difference. Again, the people of this country now, they don't accept this. Whether if you see our prime minister from a humble background, he has been now prime minister for so many years.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because people now reward the people who can perform and who can show their mettle.
Okay,
They
let me
will
ask you
not
this, Mr.
accept
Gupta. Let me
that
ask you
the
this. Let me
days
ask you
have
this.
gone.
Let me ask you this. BJP rose on the merit plank. Leaders like the Prime Minister, JP Nadda, you've got Nitin Gadkari as well. They're all first generation politicians. But is the party at that front doing enough to institutionalize this ethos for the next generation as well? Many people and the critics are saying that the Congress party has been ruling for such a long time, they're bound to have more percentage of dynasts. Give the BJP another few years and then you may probably have better names and the percentage will rise up here as well. Rohan, to you.
Yeah, just 1 minute. Can you just repeat the last?
No, I'm trying to
it was not-
understand, is the party doing enough to institutionalize this ethos
Absolutely.
for the next generation?
Completely.
Give the
That's what I'm
BJP
saying.
another 10 years and maybe you'll
You
have
give me
this
one
18% will rise up to 25%. We don't know.
Absolutely, it will not. It will not, because whatever 18% you are saying, for example, I'll give you an example of Parvesh Verma in Delhi, right?
Okay.
He had to prove his mettle. He had to defeat Arvind Kejriwal. He has not defeated Arvind Kejriwal because he was son of Sahib Singh Verma. No. He had worked on ground. He has proved himself. So that is the basic difference here. That you are not just getting because your son or daughter of particular leader and then you are getting away. No. You have to work on ground. You have to win confidence on people.
Okay.
And once you rise as a leader, I don't think that that's a dynast politics. When you see RJD or any other, like even in Jammu Kashmir, you see that it is the father is handing over power to the son. RJD father handing over power to son. Congress party mother handing over power to the son. This is not happening in BJP. You have,
Okay.
and that is what people don't like. They are not.
And you're saying
against
that's why the 18% is because they have proved their mettle, and
Absolutely.
in that
So
sense
that-
it's absolutely justified. I'm completely running out of time here. Let me bring in Mr. Jha as well. Mr. Jha has been waiting very patiently. Mr. Jha, critics say regional parties like yours have normalized family control to the default D with leaderships that never really rotate. Is that survival or is that hypocrisy of politics? What's really happening?
See, the first thing is that if you carry in your party 0.001% of dynastic politics, you should not comment on this. Even BJP should not comment on these things. First thing foremost is that. Second thing, very clearly, if you see the dynastic politics in BJP itself, they have come in power in 2014. After that, if you see the dynastic politics have increased in BJP also. So you cannot say that the BJP is trying to remove the dynastic politics, but they are going to grasp the dynastic politics in their rotation of the political movement. That is the scenario, first thing, because very clearly you cannot avoid the dynastic politics at this moment because many big leaders who are in politics are belonging from that dynasty.
Okay.
So newcomers who are into the political field or the newcomers who are coming into the political field, they are not been given the scope or chance to enter into that arena. Even if you see in any of the parties, the persons who are very renowned, they belong to certain dynasty. And they are
So does that
carrying on
not worry you? That's the question. Does that worry you as a party that claims to be rooted in ideology, a party that claims to be rooted in regional pride? 32% of Maharashtra's lawmakers are heirs.
Yes, if you see the dynastic politics, it is not very clear because it is the voters who decide the leadership. The leaders are not created within a single day. The leaders are created for years and years. Then they come to the chair and they rule on the power and they do the politics. So you cannot deny that the voters are recognizing new face. The voters are relying on the persons who are continuous in leadership.
Yeah.
Either they are dynastic or
Maybe
not.
that's
That
the
is not
problem.
contemplated.
Maybe that's the problem over here. General Verma, you know, the ADR report also talks about dynastic representation among women. And that's the other point that I wanted to focus on very quickly, is that representation among women is twice that among men when you're talking about dynastic representation. So should we celebrate this as gender inclusion or condemn it as gender tokenism rather?
See, I would say the women entry is systematically mediated by the family connections. No, it is nothing to do with the meritocracy or anything.
Yeah.
And if you see in Jharkhand, there are 73% women.
So then
And
why
in
do we
Maharashtra,
celebrate it as gender inclusion when that's really not the
9%.
case?
Yeah, it is not.
Well,
Not. They are privileged. They are from a privileged background, and that is why they succeed.
well, all right. You know, Mr. Vora, Tharoor's piece blames dynasties across all parties, including the regional one, then calls them the people's movement. And is that criticism fair, particularly when family legacy, and that's something that Mr. Jha was also talking about, is that criticism fair when family legacy often overlaps with the local emotional connect? Bhai, wahin ki party hai, wahin ke log hain, unhi ko na chunenge.
No, I mean, in India, you know, politics is a game of passions, you know, arousing passions, emotions. So, you know, people are driven by parties or leaders who have, you know, served them in the past. Their comfort level with certain leaders is more than what it is with others. They feel that if an important person is representing them in parliament or in the legislative assemblies, you know, they will be able to get their work done. You know, their constituencies will be taken care of. There will be more development comparatively as compared to other places. So these are thoughts which, you know, cross the mind of people when they vote for, you know, people who are considered to be dynasts. But dynasty politics is also outside. You know, America is a very big democracy. You know, George Bush and his son both were, you know, presidents of America. You know, Bill Clinton, you know, his wife contested for the, you know, what do you call presidentship?
You know, many a times, gentlemen, we don't do debates here. It's more of a discussion. General Verma, many thanks for coming through with all that data. For the first time, this type of a report has been put out. Kudos to you on that particular front. Mr. Vora, many thanks for taking out the time. Rohan and Mr. Jha, many thanks for taking out the time as well. The thing is that, is Shashi Tharoor right? Have we turned democracy into a family business? And more pointedly, if even the Congress's own MP calls for ending political inheritance, will this message finally hit home? We're going to continue to talk about this, because is dynasty our biggest barrier to meritocracy? Well, many thanks for watching. That's all the time we have for you in this edition of In Your Interest. Lots more coming right on the other side.
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर जीरो कर दिया है। इससे टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 400 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
Moments come alive, even in everyday life, where journeys grow bigger. So, you take everyone along. See whatever life shows. And every day comes alive inside the airports. What do you say, Kara?
I think Mahi, Titro and Aircross at her moment ka boss.
Wow. Say that again.
भाई साहब, आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है?
एक और सोशल मीडिया ऐप।
सोशल मीडिया ऐप नहीं, वो 700 से ज्यादा ऐप्स पे बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
बढ़िया है।